Hello, and a very warm welcome to all of our virtual viewers. My name is Khalid Malik, and I will be host for the digital launch of the Poco X3 Pro and Poco F3 by Poco Pakistan. I hope you're all safe and sound and excited to be witnessing this glamorous unveiling of the Poco X3 Pro and Poco F3. So stay tuned as we reveal these amazing phones and stick around for some upcoming surprises that are coming your way. Without further ado, I'd like to call Mr. Atir Salamat, Product Manager, Poco Pakistan, to shed more light on what Poco has in store for us all. Mr. Atir Salamat.
Hello everyone, how's everyone doing today? Welcome to Poco's first online launch event in 2021. And I thank you all for joining us today. My name is Arthur, I'm the product manager at Poco. And I'm super excited to be here today. We've got some exciting news to share with you. But first, let's recap 2020. It was a great year for us. We also announced Poco was independent last November. And we released some awesome products, smartphones that took the market by storm. Since last year in May, we launched Poco F2 Pro, which was at the time and even now one of the most affordable flagship killer with a Snapdragon 865. Then we had Poco X3 NFC, which really disrupted the mid-range market with flagship specs such as 120Hz refresh rate and 240Hz touch sampling rate and features like dual speakers. And the Poco M3 was an entry-level battery beast, packing 6000 mAh battery, all the essentials and more. All three devices were loved by the media and was really praised for its performance and value. But not just media, we received fan feedback on social media as well as from all over the world, telling us how they really enjoyed the smartphones we have released. And recently, we launched a new Poco official website. As of right now, we have shipped out more than 13 million Poco smartphones all around the world. As a 3-year-old brand, this was an achievement that we are really proud of and gives the Poco team more confident than ever. But what's even more amazing is that we have over 4 million shipments in one specific model, the Poco X3 NFC, in just 7 months of launch. This was a result we didn't expect, but certainly not surprised. With our philosophy of exactly what you need, we were able to nail down camera, design, performance, and battery. This is why Poco X3 NFC was awarded the #1 all-rounder mid-range smartphone in 2020 by GSM Arena. Users loved it. But at Poco, we want to make sure we can do more, making sure we meet even more fans' needs. Let's talk about exactly what you need and more. Introducing the latest X series, Poco X3 Pro. The keyword for this smartphone is more. We are going to talk about some of the upgrades it's gotten over its previous generation. The Poco X3 NFC. First, we have more performance. Now last year, with the Poco X3 NFC, we global debuted 732G, a great mid-range chipset. But some fans may think X series is a mid-range segment. We will most likely launch a better 700 series, offering a better mid-range performance. But actually, for the Pro, we are going to take it up one notch, offering flagship performance. For the Poco X3 Pro, we will be releasing the leading 4G processor in 2021, the Qualcomm Snapdragon 860. The Poco X3 Pro is actually the first model to use this processor. This Snapdragon 860 may be one of the last 4G flagship chipset. As an 800 series processor, it uses a flagship structure and only a 7nm process. And this Prime Core has a pretty high 2.9 GHz Prime Core, offering a ton of speed and power. So if you compare the Snapdragon 860 to 865, which was last year's flagship, there are a lot of similarities. 800 series structure with 1 Prime Core, 3 performance cores, and 4 efficiency cores. 700 series usually do 2 performance cores and 6 efficiency cores, lacking that big Prime Core. Octa-core with 7nm process. The GPU is also Adreno 600 series. Let's take a look at its GPU actually. The Snapdragon 860 comes with Qualcomm Adreno 640, offering smooth gaming, and we did a frame per second test on this with Genshin Impact, which is one of the popular game around right now. The result was quite amazing. Using the Snapdragon 860, we were able to get a stable 50 frames per second on average on high setting. I can confidently say that in the 4G processor segment, there isn't many chipset that can perform this well. And of course, for the Snapdragon 860, we have a great AI engine as well, up to 7.6 trillion operations per second. Also one of the highest in 4G segment, which allows photo editing and video editing faster and quicker. So the combination of great CPU, GPU, and AI, the POCO X3 Pro Snapdragon 860 scored a very high AnTuTu benchmark of around 490,000. Among the 4G chipsets, this is one of the best scores, if not the best. To give you an idea of why this is impressive, let's take a look at a comparison. Now, if we take one of the most commonly used 4G processor in the market in the last year or two and compare, Snapdragon 720G has an average AnTuTu score of almost 280,000, is 76% in difference compared to the 860. The performance difference is massive. But not only that, let's compare it with another 700 series, the Snapdragon 765G, which is a 5G chipset, one of the best processor in 700 series. Regardless of 4G or 5G, the difference is still very obvious. Snapdragon 860 has 52% better performance. Now, some fans across the stream may be wondering, how come we are comparing 700 series? Well, 700 series is a standard for mid-range smartphones. At POCO, we are raising that standard and showing our fans it's most certainly possible to put a 800 series in the mid-range segment. It's simple. POCO X3 Pro offers flagship 4G performance. But processor isn't the only part we have made a change to. We also added UFS 3.1, which is a standard in high-end flagships these days, but pretty rare in the mid-range. Having UFS 3.1, you can get write speed up to 198% faster than 2.1. It's the perfect combination with the 860. And for our UFS 3.1, you can now get up to 256 GB of internal storage. Compared to last year's POCO X3 NFC, it's an upgrade from 128 GB. We also have shocking expandable storage up to 1 terabyte. That's amazing. You could potentially have almost 1.3 terabyte of storage space on the POCO X3 Pro. Just think about it for a second. That's more storage space than most standard laptops. Of course, we didn't forget about RAM. From 6 GB option only for the POCO X3 NFC, we are giving more RAM as well in the POCO X3 Pro, up to 8 GB, flagship level RAM size. So actually, we didn't just upgrade 4G performance. We did the whole package, offering a complete flagship performance. Snapdragon 860, the leading 4G processor, up to 8 GB of RAM, flagship level, and UFS 3.1 up to 256 GB and still kept expandable storage and pushed it to 1 terabyte. All of these performance providing more speed and power for your daily usage. Powering all of this, we still have a huge battery of 5160 mAh, offering easily 2 days battery. I remember seeing a lot of great comments about how good the Poco X3 battery is, and many people claiming this is one of the best battery phone out there in the market. Even with the 800 series processor, we are still getting great single usage time. 11 hours of gaming, 117 hours of music, 18 hours of video playback, and almost 6.5 hours of 1080 pixels video recording. And when you do need to charge, it really doesn't take long. With our MMT 33 watt fast charging, the Poco X3 Pro can reach 100% battery in just 59 minutes. Now, I used to be the type of person that likes to leave my phone charging overnight. But now, the battery can last over 2 days easily. I usually charge it in the morning, and when I wake up and when I leave for work, it's all juiced up. Super convenient. Poco X3 Pro, more performance with flagship 4G processor, flagship 8GB RAM, flagship UFS 3.1 storage up to 256GB, that awesome 5160 mAh battery with 33 watt fast charging. And of course, we did keep the liquid cool technology 1.0 plus for sustainable performance. This is exactly the performance you need and more. Now, thanks to the performance upgrade, the Poco X3 Pro can get even more creative than before. Using the 860 with the AI performance boost, more software features are available. Let's take a look at Poco X3 Pro's camera. Poco X3 Pro still features a quad camera setup, a 48 megapixel main camera, using the Sony IMX582 sensor, 119-degree ultra-wide angle camera, a macro camera and a depth sensor. Let's check out some sample shots. First is the main camera. We took a part of a bike and shot the gear setup. As you can see, the focus and the coloring on the gear is on point. How different light in the background give it shades on the metal finish. But if we go closer, we can see some really cool details. Once you use a macro camera and shoot closer, you can actually see the water droplets on the gears. Super small details can be seen with the macro mode. Then we have portrait shot with the depth sensor. With this mode, you can see how it captured with great details and blurring the background, only focusing on the model. Very easy to use. And we have the 119 ultra wide, which is great for architecture shots like this. You can see how even with the wide angle, you can still maintain the brightness contrast. But with Snapdragon 860 AI capabilities, with which we can capture not just during the day, but also night. In this photo with ultra wide night mode, when you're in a dark environment with lights, it actually boosts the brightness contrast while maintaining the colors. This mode is honestly great when you're trying to take night scenery shots of cities. But most importantly, we do have the video features that's powered by the Snapdragon 860. Let's check it out. that was an awesome dual video mode. To support this mode, we also have a 20 megapixel in-display front camera, in which we also added a new feature, night mode selfie. I don't usually take selfies, but when I do, I often find myself usually taking selfies in a pretty dark environment, whether if it's a restaurant or outside in the street lights. This mode helps increase the contrast while keeping the clarity. This is Poco X3 Pro's camera with more software features powered by the Snapdragon 860 and maintaining a quad camera setup from the last generation. You will get a lot of versatile content to play around and rule over the social media space. Make sure you go explore other amazing features in the Poco X3 Pro, which are a lot. Now, for design, we've also changed a little. The Poco X3 NFC was a unique looking device, but we wanted to make it even cooler than before. First, we still kept the Poco reflective chroma design, still a standout design and very cool. And we kept it symmetrical. We called it the finish line design. But it wasn't perfect. We saw some complaints about the back design, such as a lot of fingerprint when fans aren't using the case. Well, we made a change. For the Poco X3 Pro, we used a dual texture in the back. On the sides, it has a matte finish to prevent fingerprints. But not only that, we also added 3 new colors. We have Phantom Black, Frost Blue, and Metal Bronze. All 3 colors are new and refined, a more complicated color process than before. My favorite is actually the Phantom Black. It has a touch of purple to it under the light, but the blue and metal bronze is pretty awesome looking too. Very eye-catching. Let us know which color you like in the comments below. We've talked about the back design. Let's actually briefly take a look at the front display. For our Poco X3 Pro display, we kept the 6.67 dot display, keeping it super immersive. We still have that tiny dot at the top, same size as the previous generation and the Poco X3. It's still a flagship level display that features 120Hz refresh rate and 240Hz touch sampling rate. Still great for gaming and daily usage when you're scrolling through Instagram or Twitter. And Poco X3 Pro still kept the dynamic switch, an awesome smart tech that helps save battery by automatically adjusting each content you view to its most optimized frame rate. I personally thought this was one of the smartest features on the Poco X3 NFC. Overall, Poco X3 Pro still has an amazing screen, but we still took it to the next level. On the Poco X3 Pro, we added Corning Gorilla Glass 6, giving flagship level display protection. For those who don't know how good the Corning Gorilla Glass 6 is, it is the level between Corning Gorilla Glass 5 and the latest Victus. To give you a rough idea, Corning Gorilla Glass 6 is a true flagship feature. Phones that are priced above 2 lakh rupees has it. And so does Poco X3 Pro. Impressive, right? To sum up Poco X3 Pro's design, we have 3 new colors: Phantom Black, Frost Blue, and Metal Bronze. All 3 looks really good. Anti-fingerprint sides to keep it more clean. A massive 6.67 inches dot display that has 120Hz refresh rate and 240Hz touch sampling rate, protected by the Corning Gorilla Glass 6. Exactly the design and display you need, and more. We have upgraded POCO X3 Pro to not only offer exactly what you need, but more performance, more creative, and more design. But we did keep some of the great features from POCO X3 NFC. The dual speaker setup. With the POCO X3 Pro, you're still getting great audio no matter what you're doing, gaming or watching videos or listening to music. And I say it's great audio with confidence because it was actually tested by DxOMark Audio. For our X3 NFC speakers, we were able to get a DxOMark Audio score of 63. Now that may not seem super impressive just by itself. But what about this? If we take a look at some of the flagships from last year and also tested for DxOMark Audio, the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Ultra 5G scored a 68, just a little bit above POCO X3 NFC. But look at the price difference. We are pretty much on the same level as flagships. And when it comes to touch, we still have a great Z-axis linear motor. Super responsive when you're gaming and giving you the ultimate feel experience. Still uncommon to see in the mid-range smartphone range. Last, some essential features. IR blaster, NFC, and headphone jack. Features that we believe are still very much needed based on the demands we see from the users. POCO X3 Pro has it all. So, we kept some great features from the POCO X3 NFC. Big battery of 5160 mAh with 33 watt fast charging, 120 Hz refresh rate and 240 Hz touch sampling rate on the 6.67 inches dot display. Dual speakers, Z-axis linear motor, NFC, IR blaster, and headphone jack. The features that we had in exactly what you need. And when it comes to more, a 800 series processor, 860 leading 4G processor, up to 8 GB of RAM, up to 256 GB of internal storage of UFS 3.1, Corning Gorilla Glass 6, and quad camera with more software features. This is exactly what you need and more. So now, let's have a look at the POCO X3 Pro. Price, because I believe we won't disappoint our fans, offering a great price like we did for the POCO X3 NFC. But let's do a comparison first. Now, if we take a look at some of the popular mid-rangers in the market in 2020, we have highlighted our strong points. Flagship 860 processor, big screen with high refresh rate and touch sampling rate, huge 5160 mAh battery and 33 watt fast charger. Their price is roughly starting at 60,000 rupees and more. But let's not just compare to others. There is an old saying, it only matters when you've outdone yourself. So let's take a look at our previous generations. With the massive processor upgrade, RAM upgrade, and storage speed upgrade, and maintaining all the beloved features, our 6 GB plus 128 GB storage option for the POCO X3 NFC had a RRP of 41,999 rupees, and we did an early bird of 40,999 rupees, which at the time I believed shocked many fans. I was shocked myself. For the POCO X3 Pro, for our base variant, the 6 GB plus 128 GB storage option, we have an amazing price of 41,999 rupees. I'm so curious how many of our fans jaws dropped across the stream, or maybe even said, "What?" But actually, we're not done. We've always got that early bird. 41,999 rupees. Initially, this was the early bird price. But remember, we had a shocking achievement of 4 million POCO X3 NFC shipped in just 7 months. We want to thank our fans, so we tweaked the early bird price. We actually have an early bird pricing of 39,999 rupees. I'm confident many fans are commenting like crazy right now because I was hyped myself when I heard that we were able to do this. And what made me even more shocked was when I looked back at this. If we take a look at this chart, the upgrades, then the retail price and the early bird price compared to previous generation, can you see how amazing and crazy this pricing was? And now for a high-end variant of 8GB plus 256GB of storage, we have an amazing price of 47,999 rupees. Truly great value. So when we come back to this chart and see our early bird pricing or even the retail pricing, we beat our competitors in most of the features and we're almost half the price. This is how we do it at POCO. Now the POCO X3 Pro will be available from tonight on all of our exclusive online partners, the RAS, MeStore.pk, OLX and Aircart. And the 8GB plus 256GB variant will also be available nationwide from tomorrow onwards with the support of all our offline distributors, Airlink, SmartLink, Texirath and Fonzo. We will also be offering a free of charge one screen replacement within 6 months of purchase. So here it is in summary, POCO X3 Pro Edition starting at 39,999 rupees, early bird for the 6GB variant and 47,999 rupees for the 8GB variant. Flagship 4G performance with awesome features and a crazy price. Exactly what you need and more. Now, I know these questions are happening right now in the stream and has been happening over social media as well. POCO hears our fans and it's here. We understand how important F-Series is for our fans. F-Series started the journey, the series that caught the eyes and attention of fans and media in the industry, disrupted the market and established what we're doing here at POCO is very important. Today, we will be launching the latest F-Series, the long-awaited POCO F3, and the team came up with one term to really describe what the POCO F3 is. POCO F3, the real beast. Let's get started. Let's talk about this real beast. I know our fans can't wait. Performance, the one spec I know fans want to hear first, and maybe the most important for F-Series. For the POCO F3, we have put an immense amount of consideration of which processor should we use. And this one choice was perfect. The Snapdragon 870, one of the latest Qualcomm 800 series chipset. In short, I can tell you the Snapdragon 870 offers beast speed. It's very fast and very capable. Now let me explain some of the details of this specific system on chip and what makes it special. First, the Snapdragon 870 uses an octa-core structure with 3 different types of cores. A similar structure of the flagship system on chip from last year 865. We have 1 prime core, 3 performance cores, and 4 efficiency cores, a flagship structure. And of course, we are also a 7nm process, making this 870 chip very power efficient. Tiny, but mighty. But there is something special that makes 870 even more beast-like. And that is its prime core. It's special because the Qualcomm Snapdragon 870 have a leading prime core speed of 3.2 gigahertz. If you take a look at other flagship processors in the market, it takes the number one spot. But what does prime core speed actually do for us users? Compared to last year's flagship system on chip, the Snapdragon 870 has improved by more than 12% CPU performance, processing any apps with ease and offering true beast speed. And when it comes to gaming, the GPU structure using the Adreno 650, by using this structure and paired with a prime core, the GPU experience has also improved. More than 10% improvement on 865. For some of you, this may seem like a small number, but I've used the Poco F2 Pro all year last year, and I did some heavy gaming on it. My settings were always on high or max graphics, and it handled with ease. To think that there's further improvement on this, it's pretty wild. We also did do a gaming test with Genshin Impact, and the result was amazing. We ran the Poco F3 on high settings with 60 frames per second, max, and played for 1 hour straight. With the Poco F3, you can get an average of 58 frames per second. Now that's beast gaming. To support that support, we needed to keep the beast cool. So we added liquid cool technology 1.0 plus, which really helps with long period of heavy load usage, keeping the processor cooler, allowing it to run longer and smoother. But not only performance, the Snapdragon 870 is great at when it comes to AI processing. The F3 can reach 15 trillion operations per second. It's expected from a flagship system on chip, taking and editing photos, videos with ease and making your overall experience just so much smoother. Then the question is how great the Poco F3 can do in a 2-2 benchmark. It scored a super high score of 640,000. A true flagship system on chip, a real beast. Compared to last year's Snapdragon 865 score that we got in Poco F2 Pro, it has quite the improvement over the flagship processor of the last year. 50,000 points in difference. So, to sum it all up, the Snapdragon 870 in the Poco F3 is one of the best processors in the industry right now, offering beast speed. But we're not done just yet. Now, to pair with such an awesome processor, we had to also match up to the RAM and ROM technology with up to 256 GB of UFS 3.1 and up to 8 GB of LPDDR5 RAM, offering beast ROM and RAM. And when it comes to connectivity, the Poco F3 is also 5G ready, up to 23x faster speed compared to 4G, and also compatible with 11 different network bands. It supports Wi-Fi 6, which is 2.7x faster than Wi-Fi 5. So when you're home or at the office, your connection is super fast. No lag during gaming, no buffering for videos, beast speed only. Now, this is Poco F3, the real beast performance. Snapdragon 870, which features a 3.2 GHz prime core speed, one of the best processors in the industry, flagship ROM and RAM, 5G and Wi-Fi 6 ready. Now, we talked about how beast Poco F3's performance is. I think many people may be asking, what about display? I can tell you with all the confidence in the world, we have a real beast display. Fans out there, you won't be disappointed. what we had to make sure first is the screen gotta be big, a B screen size, 6.67 inches, comfortable for daily viewing and any sort of gaming or content watching. Then we decided to go with a flat screen. Now, as some of Poco fans know, I am a gamer, and as a gamer, I actually can't stand mistouches. And with a flat screen, the chances of mistouching an edge is close to none. And to guarantee a full screen experience, we decided to go with a dot display. It was a decision made by how many fans appreciated and enjoyed the viewing experience from X3 NFC. How small the dot was? Well, for Poco F3, we took it to the next level. The Poco F3 has a 2.76mm dot display. Super small. If we take the Samsung Galaxy S21's dot display, for an example, it has a size of 3.61mm. Our 2.76mm tiny dot is industry-leading tiny dot, making sure it's as immersive as it gets. Now, we talked about how big and immersive the screen is. Our screen is also the Poco F3 6.67 inches screen is indeed AMOLED. This was a big ask by fans on Twitter and has been all over the media. And we heard you. But not just any AMOLED. It's an E4 AMOLED. Flagship level. One of the best screens out there. For some fans who don't know what E4 AMOLED is, let me break it down. It has a peak brightness of 1300 nits, a contrast ratio of 5 million to 1, and high brightness level at 900. So the colors will be bright and vibrant even under the sun. And compared to last generation's AMOLED material, E3, E4 is actually uses 15% less power, which helps conserve battery in general. A true beast display. It also supports true color, which is tuning the color of your content to the most realistic accuracy. A must-have feature, especially when you're watching lots of content. For me, I love documentaries like Planet Earth, and watching it on the screen brings everything to life. And as a beast flagship display, it also have HDR10+, giving our users crystal clear clarity for all their content. Let's take a look at the effect. If you take a look at the comparison, you can see that with HDR10+, the video quality is even more vibrant and clear. It optimizes each frame to the best brightness possible, even the parts of the video where it's dark. MEMC. This is an awesome feature. Let's demonstrate it. What MEMC does is intelligently analyze video as you watch, creates additional frames to give you a smooth, clear video better than you would have had without. It's amazing. On top of all the great features we also have a 360-degree light sensor. It can detect the lighting environment around you and adjust the brightness automatically. Actually, we took it one step further to protect your eyesight and making sure when staring at your screen during different environments, we have true display technology to ensure not just the brightness we are adjusting, but also the color warmth on your screen. Honestly, when I use my phone all day and all night, which I do a lot, I really appreciate this feature. Less stress on my eyes. With all of these features, the Poco F3 display is not only just flagship level, it's really one of the best displays in the industry. with a 6.67 inches flat display featuring a dot display design, 2.76 millimeter tiny dot, an E4 AMOLED that supports all the optimizing features. This is the F3's real beast display. Well, we got to talk about the real beast gaming. Now, having the awesome 870 processor and a widely good screen is going to be quite the combo for our gamers out there. Well, we've got more for you. First, our screen has 120 Hz refresh rate on top of the E4 AMOLED we just talked about. 120 Hz plus E4 AMOLED. Crazy good. But 120 Hz is actually pretty common in the flagship segment. So let's take a further notch. Touch sampling rate features a super high touch sampling rate, 360 Hz. Absolute beast. Now, 360 Hz is one of the industry's highest touch sampling rate. And it's crucial feature for the gamers out there. With this, you can stay one step ahead among your enemies or friends in your gaming. To give you a reference of how good 360 Hz is, we can simplify like this. 120 Hz to 180 Hz are usually in the average entry mid-range smartphones. Hitting 240 Hz, there are some flagships and performance phones out there. But 300 plus, you're reaching a whole new level now. Let's take a look at the comparison against one of the flagship devices on the market, S21, which features a 240 Hz touch sampling rate. And for our beast gamers, we also have Game Turbo 4.0 on the POCO F3, which has an awesome advanced GPU tuner that allows you to tweak in-game settings in one place. So it makes adjusting graphic settings much easier. We are not quite done yet. To take it up to the next level, we also have dual speakers set on the POCO F3, and essential for gaming. Honestly, I've used a single speaker phone for a while, and when you're wielding it horizontally, you would sometimes block the speaker and the sound is just gone. Very irritating. But with the dual speakers, you're getting a louder audio and it's less likely for you to block both speakers. But this B speaker is special. It's got Dolby Atmos to make the sound even better, making your audio experience better than you expect, fully optimizing the stereo sound from the dual speakers. Other than Dolby Atmos, we have high resolution audio and high resolution audio wireless that works in harmony with our dual speakers. This is a real beast audio. And lastly, we can't forget the feel of the phone. This is a huge part of the overall experience for the device. How it feels when you click each button. For a lot of influencers and tech enthusiasts, this is one of the features that can immediately separate a good phone and an average phone. By using the X-axis linear motor, you're getting a crisp feedback from every touch. To sum up the F3's beast gaming performance, at the core, we have the Snapdragon 870, 120 Hz refresh rate, flagship, 360 Hz touch sampling rate, simply groundbreaking. Game Turbo 4.0 that helps you optimize graphic with ease. Dual speakers that is working alongside with Dolby Atmos and high resolution audio in high resolution audio wireless. X-axis linear motor, a flagship feedback hardware that makes the whole experience just so complete. This is POCO F3's beast gaming experience. We talked about how fast the POCO F3 Real Beast is, how powerful, how smooth, but how beautiful. Let's talk about the real beast design, because I can tell you for certain there is beauty in this beast. Let's take a quick peek. Let's start off with these two classy colors. Simply elegant. First, we have the Poco F3 in night black. Now, being the real beast, this elegant black is so stealth. It's as if it's ready to hunt during the night. Absolutely gorgeous. Then we have the Poco F3 in Arctic white in a matte finish. Imagine if it was a beast running across a snow plain. Now, personally, I've always been a fan of darker color phones. But this white is special. But we actually have another color, a different beast. Unleash the Kraken. Now, when we first came up with this color design, we imagined it as a beast from the ocean. Let's take a look. This is Poco F3 in deep ocean blue, the great blue beast. Now this blue, man oh man, we pushed our ID design to the limit. It's not just one blue, it's three different blue altogether and with different tone and design. I honestly think this is one of the coolest design phone I've ever seen. Elegant, different, powerful. Let us know in the comments which one do you think. But besides making this beast beautiful, we also considered how it feels, how it weighs. For the Poco F3, it's super thin, only at 7.8 millimeters, making it a thinnest Poco phone ever. And it only weighs 196 grams. So the overall feel of this device is very light and comfortable to hold. But what actually makes our beast even more impressive, we managed to put in a huge battery of 4520 mAh in the Poco F3, which can last for 2 days of usage. Remember, considering the fact that we have a 870, a 120 Hz refresh rate with AMOLED and a thin design, and now a big battery to support it to last usage for 2 days on a single charge. Impressive, right? So, the beast is light yet powerful. 7.8 millimeter thin with a big battery of 4520 mAh. One of the few devices on the market that is this thin with a battery this size. Beastly design and build. The Poco F3 4520 mAh gives you 10 hours of gaming, 14 hours of video playback, 149 hours of music, and 23 hours of phone calls. And when you do need to charge up, we have 33 watt fast charging, which only takes 52 minutes to 100%. That's less than an hour, and you'll be good to go. Of course, we do include a 33 watt inbox charger as well. On the side, we have further refined our side fingerprint sensor. We have flattened the usual fingerprint design and made this more seamless, made it more elegant and clean. To sum up the F3's design, we've got 3 beastly colors: Arctic white, night black, and deep ocean blue. Honestly, any 3 of these colors match any style. Only 7.8 millimeters thin and 196 grams, paired with the big 4520 mAh battery that supports 33 watt fast charging. Very few in the market. Corning Gorilla Glass 5 to have a sturdy build all around. A new refined side fingerprint sensor. This is Poco F3's real beast design. And let's get on with the camera. We have a triple camera setup on the Poco F3. A 48 megapixel main camera, 8 megapixel ultra wide that supports 119-degree ultra wide field of vision, and my favorite, a tele-macro camera that has an autofocus between the distance of 3 centimeters to 7 centimeters, really allowing you to capture close and clear. Let's see through the eyes of the beast. When you use the POCO F3 main camera, now you can get really detailed shots like this. Now, if you take a look at this picture closely, first you can see how detailed the architecture is, but it also captured the light reflection of the metal perfectly. As our model is holding the light stick on the right side, you can see that the ratio of the light bounced off the metal on the right side is brighter than the left. Details are sharp with the POCO F3. Then we also have a night mode shot with the main camera, with the lights all around our model. Turning on night mode gives you more contrast accuracy on the photo. Very cool shot. Then we have ultra wide, which allows you to capture a lot more when you're at a distance and trying to capture something very large. Turn on that ultra wide to capture the full picture. Now, my favorite, tele macro shot. Now at first you may think this is a glass globe with binary numbers design on it, but actually we placed a transparent glass marble ball on a glass surface and shot the reflection on the display in the back. Super creative. Telemacro shots can always make the picture seems like it's a whole different object. We used a similar scenario and changed the background and was able to get this object, honestly, a great lens that usually allows you to get more creative. Easy setup and can be shot at home. But not just our main lens can get you creative. In video, we've got some features that you can get to become a content creating beast. We have 6 new video modes, one-click video modes. We call it one-click video modes because you can just turn on the function and click record. It will automatically edit your content and make this effect. Super easy. Let's take a look at montage of all 6 models. Beside those awesome one-click video features, we have something that is very cool. A dedicated microphone in the back that works alongside with your video recording. Using this awesome feature, audio zoom. When you're shooting a video on the POCO F3 and you want to zoom in, using the audio zoom function, it will follow the distance you zoom and capture sound from a distance. Honestly, very mind-blowing that we can make this feature in smartphone. Let's see a sample of it. This is the Real Beast camera with the AI triple camera powered by Snapdragon 870, including telemacro and 119-degree ultra-wide, and the easy one-click video modes that allows you to be super creative. Audio zoom supported by the dedicated microphone in the back. This is the POCO F3 Real Beast camera. Let's recap everything we have gone through so far. A flagship processor, Snapdragon 870, Beast Speed, LPDDR5 plus UFS 3.1, flagship RAM and ROM setup, 5G ready and also have Wi-Fi 6, giving you the best connectivity. A 6.67 inches dot display featuring E4 AMOLED, one of the latest and best AMOLED technology on the market, which also supports 120 Hz refresh rate and 360 Hz touch sampling rate, giving you the smoothest gaming experience. X-axis linear motor for crisp feedback, Dolby Atmos dual speakers offering an immersive stereo experience, a 48 megapixel main camera that features a ton of software features, audio zoom with a dedicated microphone. Then powering all of this is a 4520 mAh that supports 33 watt fast charging. All of this in a 7.8mm thin device. POCO F3, the real beast. Let's take a look at this incredible device. Now, the part that you've been waiting for. Price. With all the specs we talked about, how much can you get the POCO F3 Beast for? Now, if we take a look at the specs comparison with our competitors, you can see that in most features we stand more. Better processor, better display, flagship refresh rate, and touch sampling rate. They're priced at around 1,70,000, a pretty big price tag. For the POCO F3, for our first option, the 6GB plus 128GB storage, we have a wild price at 57,999 rupees for all those beast features. And yes, we do have an early bird price. It starts at 55,999 rupees. Wow, amazing, right? For our high-end variant, for the 8GB plus 256GB storage option, we also have a great retail price of 65,999 rupees. Now, let's come back to this chart. With our specification, we are priced at less than half of our competitors' pricing. Absolutely insane value. Performance to value ratio is off the charts. Now, the POCO F3 will be available from the second week of April on all of our exclusive online partners, Daraz, MeStore.pk, OLX, and Aircart. And the 8GB plus 256GB variants will also be available nationwide from the second week of April with the support of all our offline distributors, Airlink, SmartLink, Texirath, and Fonzo. For the POCO F3, we will still have that free of charge one screen replacement within 6 months. So the POCO F3, the real beast, can be tamed for just 55,999 rupees for the 6GB variant, and for the 8GB variant, 65,999 rupees. Flagship processor, flagship display, flagship experience. It's got it all. This is our flagship lineups today. The POCO F3 and POCO X3 Pro, 4G flagship and 5G flagship. Both awesome devices with amazing value. Everything you need and nothing you don't. This is all from my side today, but we are not ending it right here. We have two more engaging activities. So let's begin the gaming competition between the All-Star team and the Poco fan team. And to introduce them, I would like to call Mr. Khalid up on stage.
All right. Thank you, Atif, for telling us more about these remarkable devices. And I'm sure now more than ever, you are intrigued to find out more about these phones. Poco aims to bring together revolution in technology and excels in giving its consumers the ultimate experience with innovations that truly matter. The Poco F3 is the real beast with its powerful performance power embedded with a flagship display design and immersive entertainment. Poco X3 Pro is exactly what you need and more. This phone has more speed with upgraded ultra-fast performance and will definitely leave you in awe. All right, let's move on to the fun part of the evening. I want to invite the All-Star team on stage one by one. Put your hands together for Ali Abbas, better known as Mastek. Sadur Rahman, better known as Ducky Bhai. And of the metal gaming fame, Atik Ahmed. Last but not least, Pride of Pakistan, Aslan Ash. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. With that, all our virtual viewers get ready for what is said to be a power-packed gaming session with our all-star gaming team. So comment now and be in the running to win some exciting prizes. You guys ready? Are you guys ready? Let's go! Woo!
Come on, guys. Let's go.
अबे यार इतनी हाइप अप कौन है पोको 1 2 3 4 ओ ग्रेनेड कर रहा है कोई बंदा ओए वाकई ग्रेनेड आया मुझे लगा मजाक कर रहा है प्लीज पहले किल नहीं यस ओए मेरा ख्याल से मेरा डिस्कनेक्ट हो गया बंदे गायब हो रहे हैं
क्या लैग आ गया?
यार एक वक्त में देखो यार ये वाइट कपड़ों वाला बहुत आरामी है यार मतलब अच्छे वे में
इसमें दो
बंदे ये वाइट कपड़े क्या कस्टम है ये मतलब खुद पकड़ सकते हैं मैं नहीं पकड़ सकता
नहीं आई थिंक इनके शायद अपना फ़ोन है
ओए 2 किल होने वाले हैं
मैंने मार दिया डकी टेंशन नहीं लेनी आपका भाई साथ है
मैं तो खुद तो मर गया हूँ
नहीं मतलब मैंने मार दिया ना तो इंतकाम मैंने ले लिया था
यार ये वाइट कपड़े
ओह नहीं नहीं नहीं
ओ वाह
यार ये क्या है यार ये कौन था कमरे के अंदर तुम दे यार कितना ये थोड़ा सा
ओए किल
बस 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 बस
ओह
एक सेकंड में लोड कर रहा हूँ यार लोड का टाइम
यार मेरा ना वो
बिल्कुल
बटन छोटा है वो उंगली बड़ी है
कुछ याद आया होगा रिलेटेबल कंटेंट
ओए वाइट वाला गया फाइनली
ओ यार थैंक यू
क्या कह रहे हो यार,
यार,
आज
ये
को
जो
मारो।
भी था। यार ये पीछे से नहीं मारो यार, ये पीछे से। ये पीछे वाला सीन था।
यार मेरे निशाने सही क्यों नहीं लगते मुझे? थैंक यू यार।
एक तो आवाज अब मैंने अपनी अब बढ़ाई है।
यार मत करो ना यार इसका।
मेरे पास गोलियां खत्म।
प्लीज प्लीज, थैंक यू। बहुत एंजाइटी हो रही है यार।
गाइस एक किल रहता है।
यार ये मुक्का कैसे मारते हैं?
यार
आ रहा हूँ।
लास्ट किल मेरा है, प्लीज प्लीज। ओ अच्छा अच्छा।
और ये हम जीत गए।
हम जीत रहे हैं ना?
नहीं नहीं नहीं, 50 पे गेम है। थैंक यू यार, ये कौन था?
कैसा दिया?
जबरदस्त यार, जबरदस्त। बस है यार, ये साइड से इनको मारना आता है।
और डबल किल।
ये देख। मैं भी भेज रहा हूँ अपना एक हवाई जहाज। आई थिंक कोई गया।
मैं तो प्रो हूँ यार, 5 किल कर दी।
अपने अकाउंट से?
हाँ नहीं पोको ऐश ने मुझे मारा 5।
अच्छा। बस बस बस।
यस।
अरे
Yes,
बहुत आला
यार।
यार भाई। अरे यार मजा आ गया।
जबरदस्त यार।
I'm sure I've intrigued you guys into knowing more about these phones. I'd like to invite the tech masters on stage with me right now to tell us more about the unique features of the Poco X3 Pro and Poco F3. Let's kick off this conversation by welcoming our guest. But first and foremost, my co host, Atir Salamat, product manager from Poco Pakistan. Also joining us on stage, Akram Ali from Pro Pakistani and Tech for Test. Ali Abbas from Mass Tech. We've also got Umar Khan, also known as Yukhano, who's a lifestyle influencer and vlogger of Pakistan, joining us on stage. Welcome to our guests here with me on stage. They are going to be talking about the Poco X3 Pro and Poco F3 and walking us through some of the features. So my first question is to you, Yukhano. How do you think photography has evolved over the years, and do you think these phones add to it?
Khalid bhai, first of all, back in the day, the medium of consumption for content wasn't phones. We had DSLR cameras, everybody had it in their college. You used to roam around, take pictures, and then post them to your Facebook and all. But over the years, you got new phones, you got better phones. Obviously, we couldn't afford them back then, but then we had the different phones. And then you get smartphones like these, right? So when now you're traveling and creating content, for instance, someone like me who's hiking up with trails and had to carry heavy cameras with drones and cameras and DSLRs. Now I have a phone as a secondary camera where I have to create content on the go. If there's something happening, I don't have to take out my bag, zip it up, and then take out the camera and shoot. I just take out my phone, capture it, and you have that same result that you can get from the camera on your phone, but instantly and quicker. And you can then share it faster as well because your phone has your Instagram and your Facebook. From a DSLR camera, you had to take out the memory card, copy the footage, edit it, and then now you have it all in a one-stop solution. So it has evolved a lot over the ages, and that's why you have instant content on phones and cameras.
So, as a follow up to that, do you think phones have changed the entire game of photography, and can they now be can they replace what we know as
Absolutely,
conventional
absolutely.
cameras?
It has changed the game not just for camera enthusiasts. Now everybody is a content creator. Now everybody can create content, edit it with
Yeah.
apps, and post them to their Instagram and become an influencer or a content creator. So it has changed immensely. Now you don't have to go for an expensive camera or an expensive lens and an expensive tripod or an expensive microphone. You just have a phone which has the camera, which has a selfie, which has the mic and the audio devices, right? So for that, it has leveled the playing field. Like before, you had a professional cameraman and you didn't have someone who can shoot with the phone. They would laugh at them like, "It's because the camera nahi hai, yaar, ye kya kar rahe hain?" But now you can create content with this. So it has really changed, and it has replaced the 4 cameras completely. Like for me, I used 70% of the content that I create is with the phone, and the 30% is when I have the time to use my camera.
Got it.
So that's how much it has changed.
Got it. Atif?
So okay, so let's talk about the performance upgrade. Ali Abbas, you are a gamer yourself. काफी ज़बरदस्त gamer हैं आप. So as you know that we introduced Poco X3 with a Snapdragon 732G, and with the Poco X3 Pro we have introduced Snapdragon 860. So how important do you think this performance upgrade is? What is your take on it?
आदिर भाई एक्चुअली पाकिस्तान की मार्केट की लोकल अब एक रियलिटी है. गेमर्स एक्चुअली ई स्पोर्ट्स जब से सेलफोन में कन्वर्ट हुई है उसी तरीके से ग्रो कर रही है, और जितनी भी हमारी यूथ आ रही है ऑब्वियसली बात अपना कैरियर बनाना चाहती है, और दे हैव सम सॉर्ट ऑफ इश्यूज ऑफ बजट, क्योंकि सब ज़्यादातर मिडिल फैमिली से करते हैं डिपेंड. तो पोको X3 वाज बेस्ट फोन फॉर दोज जिनके पास उस रेंज का कोई बजट था, and they want higher refresh rate, they want best gaming device for their channels, for their some game parts. इन पोको X3 Pro मैं ये सोचता हूँ कि काफ़ी ज़्यादा इंप्रूवमेंट की गई है प्रोसेसर को लेके, स्पेशली फॉर दोस्त जो कि आजकल ई स्पोर्ट्स करना चाहते हैं, और इसमें एक टॉप ऑफ द लाइन एक परफॉर्मेंस वाला प्रोसेसर जो कि इससे पहले हमने किसी भी डिवाइस में आज तक पाकिस्तानी मार्केट में नहीं देखा. स्नैपड्रैगन 860 अभी रिसेंटली लॉन्च किया गया स्नैपड्रैगन की तरफ से, और हमें अब पोको X3 Pro में मिल रहा है. और जिस प्राइस सेगमेंट में ये लॉन्च किया जा रहा है, यहाँ जीपीयू बहुत मैटर करता है, क्योंकि जब भी हम ई स्पोर्ट्स पर काम करते हैं, कोई भी हम लोग एमुलेटर बनाते हैं या पीसी बनाते हैं, तो हमारे लिए ग्राफिक कार्ड जो होता है, ग्राफिक प्रोसेसिंग यूनिट, बहुत मैटर करता है. तो ये एक ऐसा कम्बिनेशन पोको X3 Pro में X3 से इतना बड़ा अपग्रेड आई वॉज नॉट एक्सपेक्टिंग कि उसी प्राइस सेगमेंट में लॉन्च किया जाएगा. और मेरे ख्याल में जो गेमर्स 40 to 45,000 की डिवाइस की प्रोडक्ट की रेंज रखते हैं, आई थिंक सो ये किल करेगा सबको. कोई भी इसको कम्पीट नहीं कर सकता फॉर गेमिंग पर्पस के लिए, या अगर आप इसको हैवी टास्किंग, जैसे कि युखानों ने बताया कि एक सेलफोन बहुत ज़रूरी है अब हमारी लाइफ में. आजकल सब इन्फ्लुएंसर बनने की कोशिश करते हैं, अपनी सोशल मीडिया एक्टिविटीज़ को करते हैं, तो आप स्नैपड्रैगन 860 को उस तरीके से हैंडल कर सकते हैं कि अगर आप एडिटिंग भी आप करना चाहो, नॉर्मल एडिटिंग से ज़्यादा कुछ एक्सपेक्टेशन आप रख सकते हो. UFS 2.2 स्टोरेज से आपको एडिटिंग की रेंडरिंग स्पीड, जीपीयू अच्छा काम करता है. मतलब ऑल ओवर एक ऐसा पैकेज है जो कि आप बिल्कुल कंसीडर कर सकते हो एज अ टेकी पीपल भी, एज अ गेमर पीपल भी. तो मेरे ख्याल में डे टू डे यूजेज में यहाँ पर हैवी टास्किंग के लिए कोई भी कॉम्प्रोमाइज़ नहीं. बहुत बड़ा अपग्रेड है पोको X3 Pro में एज अ परफॉर्मेंस वाइज फ्रॉम पोको X3.
Yes, I think this is the core philosophy of Poco, कि आपको एक मिड रेंज सेगमेंट में एक हाई एंड फीचर्स आपको पोको प्रोवाइड करता है.
यस, और इस तरह के प्रोसेसर्स, इस तरह के जीपीयूज, इस तरह की परफॉर्मेंस, आज से अगर हम 1 साल पहले जाएं तो हम लोग 1-1 लाख रुपए में बाय कर रहे होते थे. तो मेरे हिसाब से प्राइस फैक्टर, परफॉर्मेंस फैक्टर, ये दोनों चीज़ों में compete करता है पोको X3 Pro.
My question is for you, Akram. You obviously use smartphones a lot. When you buy one, what do you consider before buying one? What do you analyze? Or what do you look for before buying one?
You know, before a tech reviewer, I'm also a user, a consumer who has to buy products.
Yeah.
And you will second me on this that it's not the era where I have to go for just one feature. Everyone is looking for all-in-one. We are looking for big things in small packages with a very, competitive price, but all the features, they have to be top-notch. If we talk about anything which is lesser than top-notch, you would not go for that, Yukhana would not go for that, anyone would not go for that. And on the cherry on top is that we have a competitive price, and if we are getting something which used to be in 100,000 rupees, now we are getting it like in 50 or 55 or lesser than that, it's an ideal deal. talking about buying, what I consider while buying a smartphone, तो उर्दू में थोड़ा सा इसको करूँगा कि I need to have everything powerful. It has to be a beast because पोको की जो सबसे अच्छी बात है कि इनकी डिवाइसेस सिर्फ किसी एक ऑडियंस सेगमेंटेशन के लिए नहीं है.
सही.
So yeah, everyone can use it. The processor, it has to be powerful. The camera, it has to have all those magical elements which should make my memories more colorful.
Sahi.
Then I should have a proper display with refresh rate, which has now become the need of the day. I should have a longer battery so I can use my phone as long as I want. And then, the memory and other things which complement the whole thing. So it has to be a full-fledged package when I go for a phone. And if I get something in a lesser price tag, obviously I would not miss that deal.
Nice. Arthur?
So Ali, let's talk about the most important point, the pricing of these phones. So what do you think about the pricing? What were you expecting? Was it too low? Was it too high? What is your take on it?
आदिल भाई, बीइंग अ ह्यूमन, इंसान ना शुक्र है, हमेशा ज़्यादा मांगता है. मतलब मेरी एक्सपेक्टेशन ही होती है, हमारी नहीं, मतलब देखने वाले यूज़र सबकी एक्सपेक्टेशन होती है कि भाई कम पैसों में ज़्यादा चीज़ें मिल जाएं. बट सीरियसली जब भी मैं पोको के बारे में एक्सपेक्ट करता हूँ कि भाई ग्लोबल लॉन्च जब होती है उसकी प्राइस को लेके कि भाई ये प्राइस आएगी, पोको हमेशा से ही उससे एग्रेसिव प्राइस में दे देता है और मेरी एक्साइटमेंट 4 गुना ज़्यादा हो जाती है प्राइस को लेके स्पेशली. और ये पाकिस्तान की मार्केट की क्या, पाकिस्तान जैसे जितने भी कंट्रीज हैं उनकी रियलिटी है, प्राइस मेन फैक्टर होता है. जब भी कोई बायर जाता है मार्केट में वो पैसे लेके जाता है ना, उसने अपना एक रेंज बनाया कि अगर मुझे थोड़े बहुत बढ़ाने भी पड़े 1000-1500 में बढ़ा लूंगा, तो वो हमेशा से उस प्राइस सेगमेंट में उतार देता है डिवाइस कि जिसको सोचने की जरूरत नहीं है, जस्ट जाके पैसे देने और डिवाइस लेनी है, सिम डालनी है और उस पर वो काम जो एक्सपेक्टेशंस रखते हैं हम लोग. As Akram bhai said,
I called him the other day and internally being, the fellow YouTubers and
Yeah.
तो मैंने इससे पूछा कि क्या सीन है ना, क्या प्राइस आने वाली है, तो he was like 62-63 होगी.
वो
अच्छा.
पोको X3 Pro का
अच्छा.
भी मैंने 45 काउंट किया था,
So-
40, 43, 45 होगा. बट सीरियसली दिस प्राइसेस,
So जब प्राइस आई we were all like what
वाकई.
is going on guys.
और लेकिन यहाँ पर एक और चीज मैं कहना चाहूंगा कि अब जो पोको जितने बिल्डिंग्स खड़ी कर रहा है बाकी ब्रांड्स के लिए, टफ टाइम खड़ी कर रहा है, मेरी एक्सपेक्टेशन ये कि ये कॉन्टिन्यूसली आगे भी रहेंगी.
सही.
मतलब लेट्स सी कि आगे फ्यूचर में अब ये एक्सपेक्टेशन लोगों की बन जाती है, एक ब्रांड इमेज बन जाता है
बिल्कुल.
कि इफ वी हैव अ मिड रेंज सेगमेंट और हमें कोई मिड रेंज सेगमेंट में डिवाइस बाय करनी है, तो सबसे प्रायोरिटी पे वो ब्रांड रखना है जो कम पैसों में सबसे ज्यादा स्पेसिफिक फीचर्स,
Yeah.
पैसे फीचर्स के हैं. आजकल सेल फोन के अंदर एआई के फीचर्स हैं, बैटरी के फीचर्स, डुअल स्पीकर, मतलब कुछ भी हो, पोको X3 Pro हर प्राइस सेगमेंट, मतलब इस प्राइस सेगमेंट में हर किसी को compete कर रहा है इन एवरी एक्सपेक्ट्स.
सर पाकिस्तान में ना एवरीथिंग इज प्राइस सेंट्रिक. हम
सही,
कुछ भी लेने
सही.
जाते हैं, वी डू नॉट गो फॉर द फीचर्स.
कीमत ही
हाँ,
पूछा.
कीमत. अब इस कीमत में व्हेन यू गेट समथिंग ना, तो इट फील्स लाइक टू गुड टू बी ट्रू. हमेशा होना शुरू हो जाता है, यार इसमें कोई प्रॉब्लम तो नहीं है.
सही.
सो दिस इज समथिंग व्हिच the trend which has been set by Poco, and I hope they keep on going with it.
Yes, sir.
because someday it might be difficult और users को बहुत ज़्यादा लाड प्यार दे रहे हैं, तो I hope they keep up with this thing.
I'll add to that
Yeah,
as well because
yeah.
when I was traveling winter sports के लिए मैं अभी ऊपर गया था, so I
Yeah.
was using a 80,000 rupees GoPro in winters.
Mhm.
वहाँ पे freeze हो गया था, it couldn't work,
अच्छा,
and I
अच्छा.
had my Poco F3 on me and it
No.
worked there. So the phones,
Wow.
when you're using them, वहाँ पे काम करते हैं. That's how the game has changed. Like
Yes.
if अब GoPro से आप call तो नहीं मिला
Call
सकते,
नहीं.
Instagram नहीं आ सकते. So it just gives you one feature at the time.
Yep.
But phone and Poco F3 आपको ज़्यादा features दे रहा है. So उस price range में it's
That's
a dream
amazing.
for
That's so
content
good.
creators.
एक और
Yeah.
चीज इंक्लूड करता हूँ, आजकल ना हमारे यहाँ पर जो जब से कोविड आया
जी.
स्पेशली घर में टाइम गुजारा जा
जी.
रहा है, बहुत सारे लोग यूट्यूब चैनल्स बना रहे हैं.
बिल्कुल.
कुछ अच्छा, यहाँ फीमेल्स के लिए भी मैं कहूँगा कि हमारी कुछ बहुत सारी फीमेल्स हैं जो इंक्लूड कर रही हैं कि जी हमने अपना गेमिंग चैनल बनाना है और हमें कोई अच्छी डिवाइस चाहिए. बहुत सारी
Yeah.
क्यूरीज हमसे पूछी होती हैं. तो पोको की जो दोनों डिवाइसेज हैं वो ऐसी क्यूरी पे पूरी उतरती है कि डेडिकेटेड आपको एमुलेटर बाय करने की जरूरत नहीं है, उसके लिए आपको 4K कार्ड लगाना है, मतलब खर्चा वर्चा करना, फिर लाइट आएगी तो चलेगी. तो फोन के अंदर
दोनों
आप
डिवाइस
सब
की आप
कुछ-
बात कर रहे हैं.
दोनों डिवाइसेस
दोनों, हाँ.
दोनों डिवाइसेस में आप स्क्रीन रिकॉर्ड कर सकते हो, अपना गेम प्ले अपलोड कर सकते हो, इवन दो एक फोन से ही आप सारा काम कंप्लीट कर सकते हो. तो मेरे ख्याल में ये काफी कम्पिटिटिव प्राइस और काफी कम्पिटिटिव स्पेसिफिकेशन भी हैं.
Nice. To carry on with the features, Akram, what do you think of the Poco F3 120 hertz AMOLED?
Sir,
display?
for a normal person, the refresh rate is something that you have to have a display which shows you real time thing.
Right.
So 120 hertz is the refresh rate which has become the need of the day. I mean, the apps, the content we have been consuming in 2021 or 2020 is far more, it has a far more percentage than 2018 itself. Like एक साल के अंदर इतना बड़ा change आया कि every average human consumes 40 to 50% more content. And 120 hertz is something which has become, you know, a need of the day, क्योंकि कैमरा या इंस्टाग्राम कोई भी चीज़ you have to have a proper display कि वो रिफ्लेक्ट बैक करे और आपको अपना आप या वो कंटेंट उतना अच्छा नज़र आए. सो अगर कोई भी जो प्रोडक्ट है वो इस प्राइस रेंज में 120 हर्ट्ज का रिफ्रेश रेट ऑफर करती है, दैट इज़ समथिंग मिरेकुलस, बिकॉज ये फ्लैगशिप का फीचर है. For non-techie people, this is something which has been introduced in flagships. So Poco is bringing something which has been, so this is more of a flagship. मतलब अगर आप बात करें ना प्रोसेसर की, तो 860 प्रोसेसर,
F3 में 870 है,
F3 में 870 है, 816 X3 एंड F3 में 870 है.
आसान जुबान में इसको कैसे
आसान लफ्जों में ये कि ये चिपसेट पहले लाख रुपए से ऊपर की प्राइस टैग में मिलता था.
ओके.
और वो एक हैवी फ़ोन कंसिडर किया जाता था. ये वही हैवी फ़ोन है, वही चीज़ है, सिर्फ कम प्राइस में. तो इसको मिड रेंज मत गिना जाए. लाइक 120 हर्ट्ज एक फ्लैगशिप का फीचर है जो कि इसमें इनकॉर्पोरेट किया गया.
So Yukhano,
जी सर.
I have a question for you. As an influencer and blogger yourself, so what do you think, what features we can use of the Poco X3 Pro and F3
See,
in your field?
The complaint that I had with phones, जो एक चीज़ उन्होंने improve करी थी पहले भी, वो ये थी कि you had to add on a mic. जब आप ब्लॉगिंग कर रहे थे या कर रहे थे, आपको माइक चाहिए था, वरना तो बड़ी अजीब सी क्रैकिंग सी आवाज़ आती थी ऑडियो में. So I went on my one wheel and my bike and tested it against the wind. कि जब मैं wind breaker है कि नहीं इसमें, जब मैं बात रिकॉर्डिंग कर रहा हूँ, हवा साथ चली तो मेरी आवाज़ क्लियर रिकॉर्ड होगी कि नहीं, और वो इसमें इन्होंने वो क्लियर कर दी है. So for me that's a add on, because वैसे वरना तो मुझे बाद में वॉइस ओवर करनी पड़ती थी और मसले बन जाते, और हर कोई ये चीज़ें नहीं अफोर्ड कर सकता, वॉइस ओवर करना और वो चीज़ें.
I think that is a very important
that is a
feature
very
for your
important feature for
field.
me.
Exactly.
Any vlogger or
Yes.
कोई भी जो कंटेंट बनाते हुए खुद बातें कर रहा होता है. So it's very good in that sense.
Great.
Ali, I have a question for you. The Poco F3 is known as the beast in terms of its performance and processor. Do you agree?
Yes, I agreed, but मुझे ये लगता है कि जैसे हमने पहले डिस्कस किया, जो प्राइस है ना वो हर बीस्ट के लिए पहले आती है, प्रायोरिटी आती है. तो प्राइस में तो नो डाउट है, बट बहुत से ऐसे लोग हैं या बहुत से ऐसे यूजर्स हैं जो परफॉर्मेंस को सिर्फ बीस्ट समझते हैं, बाकी चीज़ों को नहीं समझते. बट पोको F3 में वो बीस्ट वाली कैटेगरी सारी अवेलेबल हैं. इन टर्म्स ऑफ डिस्प्ले, सैमसंग E4 पैनल जो कि एमोलेड पैनल है, ब्राइटर डिस्प्ले है, MEMC मोशन इनहेंस मोशन कंट्रोल का सपोर्ट भी मिलता है. मतलब आप अगर कोई HDR 10 प्लस का कंटेंट कंज्यूम करोगे इस फोन के अंदर, ऑनेस्टली स्पीकिंग, जब से ये नेटफ्लिक्स, Amazon प्राइम का कंटेंट लोग कंज्यूम करना स्टार्ट किया है ना, दे वांट डिटेल इन डिस्प्ले कैटेगरी.
तो बतौर यूजर मेरे लिए क्या फायदा जो अभी आपने,
मतलब आप अगर ऐसे
practical
यूजर
terms,
हैं,
हाँ.
ऐसे यूजर हैं जो ऑनलाइन बहुत ज्यादा कंटेंट कंज्यूम करता है
Right.
इन दिस पेंडेमिक इश्यूज, ऑब्वियस सी बात है कि हमने फोन से टाइम ज्यादा गुजारा है. फॉर डिस्प्ले इट इज अ बीस्ट. एमोलेड पैनल, E4 एंड MMC, सम मतलब सारी वो चीजें रखी गई हैं. ऑल्दो यहाँ पर प्रोटेक्शन भी गोरिल्ला ग्लास 5 का रखा गया है. इन टर्म्स ऑफ परफॉर्मेंस, स्नैपड्रैगन 870 इस टाइम हमारी मार्केट की रियलिटी ये है कि हम 100,000 प्लस से हमें ऊपर मिलता है, और ये फोन उससे हाफ अमाउंट में आ रहा है. ठीक है, विद द सेम प्रोसेसर. और अगर इस प्रोसेसर को कंपेयर करें टिल जो अब इस टाइम का एंड्रॉइड का फास्टेस्ट चिपसेट है स्नैपड्रैगन 888, तो इसकी क्लॉक स्पीड स्लाइटली बेटर है उससे. जीपीयू हमें यहाँ पर काफी बेटर मिलता है फॉर गेमिंग पर्पस. गेमिंग करने के लिए हमें यहाँ पर टॉप ऑफ द लेवल वाली परफॉर्मेंस मिलेगी. एड्रीनो 650 जीपीयू. एंड देन अगेन वही बात जो अकरम भाई से मैं कर रहा था, आपसे कर रहा था, कि आजकल जितना भी यूजर है वो एक सेल फोन से टोटली वो काम लेता है वो जो पहले अपने लैपटॉप और कंप्यूटर से ले रहा होता है. मतलब अगर किसी ने कोई गेमिंग करनी है या किसी ने कोई एडिटिंग टूल के लिए अपना कंप्यूटर बनाना है तो उसको 1-1.5 लाख रुपए एक्सपेंस करना पड़ता है. और उसमें वही जो मैंने चीज़ आपको मेंशन की थी कि UFS 3.1 स्टोरेज मैटर करती है उन लोगों के लिए क्योंकि एक सेल फोन से एडिटिंग कर रहे हैं, हैवी टास्किंग कर रहे हैं, कुछ एप्लीकेशन से डाउनलोड कर रहे हैं. डिफरेंस UFS का और EMM जो स्टोरेज पहले आती थी, स्टोरेज टाइप 1 साल पहले हमें इस तरह मिलती थी, उनमें ये डिफरेंस है. जैसे हम कोई कंप्यूटर बनाते हैं, एक SSD हार्ड डिस्क लेते हैं क्योंकि उसमें हमें स्पीड ज़्यादा मिलती है, डाउनलोडिंग स्पीड, कन्वर्जिंग स्पीड. सेम लाइक पोको F3 हमें UFS 3.1 का स्टोरेज मिलता है जिसमें हमें फास्टेस्ट जो स्टोरेज टाइप है वो मिल रहा है, जिसमें हम डाउनलोडिंग स्पीड ज़्यादा बेटर मिलती है, कन्वर्जन रेट ज़्यादा मिलता है। किसी फ़ोन से अगर हम कोई चीज़ कन्वर्ट करते हैं, डाटा कन्वर्ट करते हैं अपनी पिक्चर्स या वीडियोस, तब भी हमें स्पीड ज़्यादा मिलती है। ऑल ओवर अगर परफॉर्मेंस इस फ़ोन की देखी जाए, विद डिस्प्ले, विद परफॉर्मेंस और स्टीरियो स्पीकर्स, जैसे युखानों ने बताया कि 3 माइक लगाए गए हैं, जो हम आज से पहले नहीं एक्सपेक्ट करते कि किसी फ़ोन से रिकॉर्डिंग कर रहे हो। एक कैफ़े में बैठे हुए हम चाहते हैं कि हम उस बंदे की वॉइस सुने जो एक कोने में बैठा हुआ है, वो क्या बात कर रहा है। तो यू कैन जूम, यू कैन फोकस हिज वॉइस, एक ऑप्शन दिया गया है बाकायदा, उससे आप उसकी आवाज़ भी सुन सकते हो। और वो जो विंड नॉइस कैंसिलेशन का बताया कि अगर आप व्लॉग बनाते हो या कोई ऐसी वीडियोस बनाते हो या ऐसे वीडियो कंटेंट क्रिएटर हो कि पंखे के नीचे वीडियो बनानी है, तो यस, पोको F3 जो है ना, वो आपको टोटली सारी चीजें प्रोवाइड
आपको ये
करेगा।
तजुर्बा हासिल हो चुका है।
खालिद भाई,
मैंने स्टार्ट किया था एक सेलफोन से, और उस सेलफोन में मुझे ये प्रॉब्लम होती थी क्योंकि जब मैंने ये यूट्यूब स्टार्ट किया था मेरे पास उतने इक्विपमेंट्स नहीं थे। ऑब्वियसली बात है, कोई भी कंटेंट क्रिएटर वो ग्राउंड लेवल से ऊपर आता है, तो मैं एक सेलफोन से बनाता, तो मुझे ये प्रॉब्लम आती थी, मुझे पंखा बंद करना पड़ता। और मुल्तान में रहते हुए पंखा बंद करना 45 डिग्री में, मतलब
नामुमकिन है।
अजीब काम था। इस फोन से हम कर सकते हैं।
आतिर,
Okay, so Akram and Ali, we talked about some of the flagship features of the Poco X3 Pro. So आपको क्या लगता है कि हमने एक high end features एक mid range category में डाले हैं? How important do you feel these features are, and how is it going to affect the overall smartphone industry?
so this has become the need of the day. So user has been looking forward to these, and Poco has been a trendsetter from quite some time. और this time तो गेम का जो बार है वो और ज़्यादा रेज कर दिया गया है. So X3 Pro offers exactly what you need, rather more than that. So we have all the powerful features in every aspect. UFS storage को ले लें, या आप कैमरास को ले लें, आप स्क्रीन को लें, प्रोसेसर को लें, बैटरी को लें, बॉडी को लें, डिज़ाइन को लें, यू जस्ट नेम इट. और कोई भी ऐसा एलिमेंट है जिसको छुपाया नहीं गया, हर चीज़ को पावरफुल रखा गया है और इतने कम प्राइस टैग में. सो द प्रोसेसर वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट, इसके अंदर जो है, दिस इज़ समथिंग जो कि हर तरह के हार्डवेयर को सपोर्ट करता है. अगर आपका एक कैमरा अच्छा है और आपका प्रोसेसर कम लगा हुआ है, तो वो एक चीज़ दूसरी को कॉम्प्लीमेंट नहीं करेगी और वो अच्छी इमेजेस नहीं प्रोड्यूस कर सकेगा. इससे कम प्रोसेसर के साथ हमने बड़े मेगापिक्सल्स वाले कैमरा भी देखे जो परफॉर्म नहीं कर सकते. फिर यहाँ पे आपको जो 48 मेगापिक्सल है उसमें एक बड़ा सेंसर दिया गया है ताकि लाइट ज़्यादा अंदर आए और अच्छी फ़ोटोज़ निकल के आएँ, और लो लाइट में भी आपके पास बेहतरीन तस्वीरें, बेहतरीन वीडियोज़ हों, क्योंकि हर कोई कंटेंट क्रिएटर बना हुआ है. अब यूज़ केस के हवाले से बात करें तो इसका हर एलिमेंट हमारे यूज़ केस पे इम्प्लीमेंट होता है. सो ओवरऑल जितना भी, जिस भी एंगल से आप देखेंगे, दिस इज़ समथिंग विच हैज़ बीन बिकम, जो एक एक्सपेक्टेशंस थी वो रियलिटी में टर्न इन हुई है. लाइक सो डेफिनेटली X3 Pro एंड दिस होल थिंग इज़ एग्जैक्टली व्हाट यू नीडेड एंड मोर देन दैट.
So in a nutshell, a complete package.
यस आतिर भाई, इट्स अ कंप्लीट पैकेज. एक रियलिटी है जो कि मेरे ख्याल में कभी भी किसी ने ना डिस्कस नहीं की अपने यूट्यूब चैनल्स पर, खासकर मैं ज़रूर करता हूँ. अब हमारे यहाँ पर कुछ ऑफलाइन मार्केट की बाइंग ज़्यादा है, 80% ऑफलाइन मार्केट की बाइंग की जा रही है. और आजकल हम देखते हैं जो गेमर्स हैं ना, वो जापानीज़ कुछ रीफर्ब फ़ोन की तरफ जाते हैं जिन पे PTA का टैक्सेस भी नहीं होता. वो एक एक्स्ट्रा डिवाइस बाय करते हैं जस्ट फॉर गेमिंग पर्पसेस. तो पोको X3 Pro, जैसा कि अकरम भाई ने कहा कि एग्जैक्टली व्हाट वी नीड, व्हाट गेमर्स नीड. बट इफ़ यू वांट मोर देन F3 इज़ अ बीस्ट. मतलब उसके अंदर एमोलेड पैनल और बाकी वो सारी क्वालिटीज़ डाल दी हैं जो कि अकरम भाई ने भी बताया और हम लोगों ने पहले डिस्कस किया है. तो आई थिंक ये जो रीफर्ब फ़ोन ख़रीदे जाते हैं, पैसों को ज़ाया किया जाता है, पोको इज़ ऑफरिंग अ बेस्ट डील, PTA अप्रूव, 1 ईयर वारंटी. और हाँ, एक चीज़ और इंक्लूड करना चाहूँगा जो कि मुझे भी थोड़ी देर पहले कंफर्म की गई है कि 6 मंथ्स की LCD डैमेज हो जाती है या LED डैमेज हो जाती है तो स्क्रीन रिप्लेसमेंट भी पोको ऑफर कर रहा है. इट्स अ गुड थिंग कि आपको एक्सीडेंटल कवरेज मिल रही है, वो भी स्क्रीन की. मोस्टली फोन गिर जाता है, टूट जाता है, तो उसको कवर नहीं कर सकते हम लोग ना, मतलब पैसे लगाने पड़ते हैं. तो भाई स्पेयर पार्ट का भी इशू आता है कि स्पेयर पार्ट नहीं है. तो यस, दीज आर अ बीस्ट. पोको F3 इज अ बीस्ट एंड पोको X3 Pro व्हाट वी नीड.
और अगर आप अपना फ़ोन लेके किसी लोकल वेंडर या रिपेयर वाले के पास जाएंगे, वो आपके फ़ोन का ठीक ठाक सत्यानाश करेगा. अगर पोको फ्री रिप्लेसमेंट नहीं भी दे रहा होता या स्क्रीन रिप्लेसमेंट के ऊपर ऑफर नहीं भी होती, तब भी आई विल रिकमेंड एवरीवन कि प्रॉपर ऑफिशियल सर्विस सेंटर जाया करें. वहाँ पे आपको पार्ट्स भी अच्छे मिलेंगे, स्टाफ को भी बाकायदा तौर पे कंपनी ने ट्रेन किया होता है, और वो आपकी चीज़ों में मतलब अगर आप स्क्रीन ठीक कराने गए बाद में आपका हेडफोन नहीं चल रहा होता, माइक नहीं चल रहा होता, तो यू हैव इश्यूज व्हेन यू गो टू लोकल वेंडर्स।
बकायदा उनकी मतलब ऑलरेडी उनके इंटरव्यूज किए जाते हैं, उनको वो कैपेबल होते हैं, कंपनी में जॉब कर रहे थे, ट्रेन्ड पर्संस होते हैं रिपेयरर। तो मुझे ये लगता है कि एक तो ये बहुत अच्छा इंप्लीमेंट है, स्क्रीन रिप्लेसमेंट वाला कोई भी कंपनी उस तरीके से ऑफर नहीं कर रही। ऑफर्स की भी जाती है तो किसी परसेंट की मतलब सस्ती कर दी जाती है, 3% सस्ती है, तो टोटली स्क्रीन रिप्लेसमेंट वाली ऑफर सीरियसली बहुत अच्छी है।
Yukhano, tell us how important are these digital launches for our viewers?
आप डिजिटल कंटेंट क्रिएटर्स के साथ जिनका कंटेंट डिजिटली कंज्यूम हो रहा होता है, फॉर देम डिजिटल लॉन्चेस आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट बिकॉज ये एक इंटीमेट कॉन्वर्सेशन होती है फ़ोन के बारे में। जिन इन अली भाई और अकरम भाई ने जो बातें की हैं मुझे भी नहीं पता थी, और एज अ कंटेंट क्रिएटर क्योंकि मैं सिर्फ कैमरा और इनसे ज़्यादा इस्तेमाल करता हूँ तो बहुत ज़्यादा सीखने को मिला है। एंड दीज आर द पीपल हु फॉर द पीपल बाय द पीपल, उन्हीं की वजह से ये लोग एक जगह पे हैं, हम लोग जगह पे हैं, सो दे ट्रस्ट अस। एंड जब हम एक फ़ोन के बारे में रिव्यू देते हैं या बात करते हैं तो दैट्स हाउ दे डिसाइड कि ये खरीदना है कि नहीं खरीदना। सो आई एम लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड मोर ऑफ दीज digital launches in the future.
Thank you, Yukhano. Thank you, Arthur, for being such a good co-host. And thank you to our guests for such an interesting, insightful, healthy discussion, and really enjoyed having this conversation with all of you and learning more about the Poco X3 Pro and the Poco F3. All right, now let's reveal the phone with our winning All-Star Poco team and Mr. Arthur Salamat. Super duper excited for this reveal. Are we ready? Are we ready? On my count, gents. 3, 2, 1. Woo! All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been remarkable hosting this event and getting to know more about the Poco F3 and Poco X3 Pro in such detail. Until next time, this is Khalid Malik, your host, signing off. Stay safe and take care.